Hey everyone, welcome to the Lounge Podcast. I am Cynthia Lashawn, and it's been it's been a minute, 5 years. But let's talk. Let's talk. Sit down, get a drink, and relax. Let's gather. For those of you who are new, welcome. This is a space of casual conversation and connections. And if you're a returning listener, thank you for being a real one. Being a real one. Where do we begin? So, obviously, the last time I released an episode was a throwback episode from the episode I did in college that started this show all along. The purpose of the show was to just create a space, and I wanted something where people listened to where they felt like they was actually there, right? And in college, that's when the podcast boom really started. Like the Read in their prime, Brilliant Idiots, Lip Service. Shout out to Angela Yee. And it really inspired me during that time in college studying journalism, and especially with broadcast, and to just really create what I was consuming. And the last episode was really like my test pilot. Now, there's actually another original episode somewhere on the SoundCloud, but that's very, very raw. And I really don't like to promote that too much because I was a very unfiltered Cynthia. But now, it's many, many years later, and things are a little different. I am much different. So before we move any further, let's also understand why I left for 5 years. Mind you, I kept saying forever how I'm going to come back. I'm bringing back my podcast. I never brought it back. But there's actually a reason for that. I'm not going to go into too much because I don't want this to be a super lengthy episode for no reason. So it's 2020, February, right? I'm in the height. I had a studio, which I was recording for free. Shout out to the Detroit Foundation Hotel. And this girl named Ace, who used to be a radio personality here in Detroit, she's the one that told me about it. And I was recording there for free, and that was like my own space. Mind you, at this time, I just moved back home from college, and I didn't really have anywhere at home I can record. Podcasting was still gaining a lot of traction, so I didn't have a lot of resources to record quality content at home. Also, having that broadcast background, I'm very particular, like sound quality and production, how it looks. So I wanted to be the best, and I had access to professional equipment, and I had a space outside my family's home. So I was recording. I was being kind of consistent, right? And I remember in the height, I was about to get ready to apply for the Stanford Fellowship for Journalism. And I just got done speaking on a panel, my first panel at Wayne State University, discussing podcasting. I just got done interviewing some cool people, some people in politics, a celebrity DJ. Shout out to DJ Mo Beats. And I was just really feeling like I was really finding my groove coming back home from college, and building relationships with people. Like I said, now I make another episode about coming home after you left for a while and making friends as an adult. But yeah, right when I thought like getting traction, life moving, everything went still. And at that time, the first season of the pandemic, the studio shut down, obviously because of the pandemic and people trying to stay clean. And then just trying to navigate, where do we go from here? Okay. COVID really paused and had people kind of like rethink how we go about it. And it was scary. Podcasting and was not on my mind right now. And I just started internship with the city at that moment. So my mind was in a lot of different places. And then right around when I was planning on returning to podcast, around I think like July or August, I was like, okay, maybe I can just set up some equipment at home, a little at home studio. If people who don't know me, my grandfather like helped raise me along with my mom, and I was like a parent. So around September, he passed away, unfortunately. And it's one thing somebody pass away. It's another thing when you live with somebody and they pass away, right? And that took a lot of my energy and a lot of my motivation. Kind of put that on pause among losing my internship because it was budget cuts because I was working with the city and they had to allocate funding for pandemic relief. So someone had to get cut. So yeah, and just among other series of unfortunate events around that time, kind of paused it. So I was like, okay, next year. Next year, I record an episode which I'll be releasing. It was an unreleased episode. I'm going to record, re-release, interviewing my friend Eric, aka Hysteric. Hey Eric, hey Hysteric, and I never got just really post that one. I was still grieving, and I just never got a chance to get around to editing it. And then I just felt like in the midst of grieving, trying to figure out, get back to myself. And at that time, I just got caught up. Then I started working my first corporate job, then got in a series of relationships. And when I was like, okay, once I get my money up, I just find a new studio. Studio prices are not cheap. Renting a studio for a podcast is not cheap. Also, I want quality. So that was a hurdle I was trying to go through. And then trying to go back to my old studio, which I love. It was a good quality studio. It was very comfortable, really good equipment, but not being able to get in contact with everybody. Because the original lady, shout out to Chicas, she looked out for me. She left. So it felt like a game of musical chairs because at that time, they was restructuring on how they want to maneuver with the space because it was new management of the facility. So I'm like, okay, my one free spot is gone. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna do Airbnb and get a videographer. Mind you, I was in and out of jobs around this season, had a corporate job, and that corporate job kept me very busy and stressed. And I just really never had the time or energy to really dedicate a podcast. And people be like, oh, just start. Yeah, you can start one. But it's not always easy to be consistent. And if I started, I want to be consistent like I was when I first started. So, series of just trying to find a studio, trying to find a place to record. Mind you, living at home. Okay, our home is not that big, right? And it's just felt difficult, right? Getting the money, getting the space. So now coming up almost 5 years later since the pandemic in my last episode, I'm like, okay, I don't want to keep telling people I'm bringing this back or I do podcasts. I'm not going to bring it back. And honestly, I wasn't sure if I really was going to bring it back. I thought about just deleting it out my Instagram bio, deleting the Instagram, and just whoever come across the episode, come up the episode. But as someone that this is like my baby, and I feel like if you really care about something, you're just not going to just let it leave like that. And especially with the last episode being an old episode. I feel like if I'm going to end things, I want to actually say goodbye and end on a high note. And I'm like, okay, and then also, it was a time I really didn't know what to say, maybe even how to say it. And now, 5 years later, I feel like I have a lot to say. I want to share a lot of topics. I really kind of want to go back and revisit certain things in past episodes. I feel a little different. Not like, oh, I was wrong, but I just had a little bit more life experiences that made me kind of like, I don't really think I really agree with 2019 Cynthia. It's certain topics I actually want to explore more now. And it's just crazy. If you would tell me 5 years ago, like, oh yeah, we're gonna have the continuing of the same administration and it's gonna be way worse, I would not believe you. It's a lot of things. It's just been a lot of change since then. But the positive thing that have changed is that now I have my own apartment. Yay! Woo! Okay, your girl is actually grown now. I'm still navigating life in adulthood, but in a different way, post-college life. Everything's good. But now, since I have my own beautiful place, my little bachelorette pad, I now can record on my own. Because one thing, this whole journey of trying to bring back my podcast, you're gonna have to just know how to finagle some things, aka record at home. Now, just let you know, in the future we will be switching locations. We're not always going to be recording here. Okay, sometimes we might be in different lounges. Or different spaces, right? Depending on the budget looking. But I'm gonna always do my best to give the best quality ever. Cause we're quality queens over here. One of the main things I just want to share is that it's okay to question things. It's okay to revisit. It's okay, honestly, to just walk away. I recently saw the movie Him, and at the end, after all this, he decided to walk away from it. I mean, it's a little different tip point, but when people ask me, what happened to the podcast? What happened? I sometimes didn't really know what to say. Because, you guys, it really was a season where I'm like, I don't know if my heart really still in it. And I think that comes when you just get older. And what made me really decide to come back, like I said earlier, is like I felt like I didn't want to leave an idea of this vision I had just in the air. I hate when podcasts do that, when they just up and leave. Like, okay, is it ever gonna be another episode? Are you guys gone? Like, y'all just gonna do us like that? And honestly, I want to treat you guys like an unloved stepchild. Okay? Like, no, we're not about to do that. We're not about to do that. The last 5 years, navigating adulthood, passions. If I really wanted to come back, if I did come back, what would I say? Because I was like, okay, a few months turned into a year turned into 2 years, so etc. And I'm like, okay. And that was another thing. I was like, if I don't bring it back now, I'm not waiting to 10 years to bring back, resurrect the podcast. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna start a new one from scratch. So I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna come back, but like I said, we're gonna come back bigger than ever. We're gonna discuss different topics, still with the same energy, great guests and connections. Like the guests I'm going to bring out here, you guys are going to be feeling like that's your cousin or your best friend. And that's the vibe I want to give. I really want to give that. And like I said, create that space. So that we're going to be doing. And just discuss trends, goals, pop culture moments. That's something I thought would change by now that I haven't. I don't know. I probably thought like maybe having a co-host. I'm still even trying to decide if maybe do I want to share the mic? No, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so I just want to say I'm back. Welcome. Feel free to share what you guys might want from me or want to hear from me. And I am so excited to be back on this journey. And I just want you guys to leave with this episode with, if you have an idea and you still have that passion, don't be afraid to just step into it and just try it and just do it. This whole show started because I had an idea and I just turned on my computer and I just started it. Now, mind you, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist because I'm like, I'm not about to come back out and it just be trash. Of course not. But I had a vision. I wrote things out on how I want to come back even better. If I'm going to come back after 5 years, I'm going to make it worth it. And I want to make sure to make it worth it to you guys to stay and listen. And when you finish, you be like, that was such an amazing time. I want you to feel like you was in here right with me, chit-chatting and hooting and hollering. So follow me at Cynthia Lashawn. That still have not changed on my Instagram, and at the Lounge Pod. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.